I am Moses Daniel, popularly known as Mentor. Today marks a very special moment as we begin this journey with our inaugural conversation. Our topic is one that affects every one of us. What is wrong with the Nigerian mindset? Hmm. Oh. Is our biggest challenges our leaders, our systems, or could it also be the way we think, respond, and see ourselves as a people? But wait, oh. Is there a problem with the Nigerian mindset? We'll find out. This isn't a conversation about blaming anyone. It's a conversation about understanding ourselves, learning from experience, and discovering how Nigerians can build a better future together. My co-host is a patriotic Nigerian, businessman, and a visionary. He's the founder and chairman of the Youth Initiative for a Better Nigeria, YIBN, a youth-led organization that advocates for good governance, youth empowerment, patriotism, and inclusiveness. Mr. Providence Chukwuka.
Thank you very much, Mentor, for that elaborate introduction. Let me return the favor. Daniel Mentor is an entrepreneur, a business strategist. He's also a co-convener of YIBN. He's a founder of so many startups, including the founder of the Unboxed Voices podcast.
Okay, so our guest in conversation with us today is a distinguished Nigerian. As in they talk, and so in they do. He is the Chief Executive Officer and Registrar of the Institute of Quality Assurance of Nigeria, IQAN, a respected quality management expert, educator, and researcher. He has dedicated his career to promoting quality, excellence, and professional standards in Nigeria. My body with me to welcome Professor Victor Akpan. Professor, thank you for joining us today. So thank you for joining us, and I want to say a very big shout out to PondCircus Solutions, our studio partner. You guys are amazing. And of course also to the Institute of Quality Assurance of Nigeria for inspiring excellence. God bless you. Continue the work you do. So quickly, Prof, I've been meaning to ask, what kind of a professor are you? What professor of what exactly? Is it based on education, based on achievement, based on leadership? How did you attain the status of a prof?
That's a very interesting and inspiring question. I totally would like to elaborate because a professor has to really showcase something. Is beyond lover of knowledge. What we're talking about here, we're talking about pursuit that brings out something for the nation, not just individual. I say elaborate in the sense that I've actually been recognized in the field of quality management, the promotions of quality in Nigeria and of course the world. And I have been the management consultant, and my professorship's award is actually a management scientist. And that's why I said elaborate. And I'm also a consultant across many continents, including Europe and the United Kingdom, Africa, Nigeria, and other West African countries. I've been a consultant to federal governments and the state governments in Nigeria, and of course the industry wide.
Prof, your profile, you go full CV. Your profile go full CV. So really good to have you on the platform today. And so we wanted to get more. Let me ask, a bit of a personal question. Tell us about your childhood. Because one wonders how you have managed to, in a country like Nigeria where not a lot of people are passionate and disciplined about quality, about excellence, about doing the right things, about getting Nigeria to work, and doing a lot of selfless service that you have done in many areas. What inspired you?
Well, as a Nigerian, a child born, I am actually from Akwa Ibom State, and my local government is Uyo local government in Akwa Ibom State, Nigeria. My childhood, as you ask, born and brought up, I think I did primary education. As a primary school graduate, I had to move forward. My quest for education and knowledge was very, very predominant in my entire thinking, my heart. So I had to move to Lagos State. There I tried one or two things, especially in learning. So from Lagos afterwards, and I moved to Europe. And I want to say that it is divine, because it's not accidental that I come to quality or practicing quality, that I started from the very, very tender age. And in our family, I come from a very large family. And in that regards, I learned a lot from both my immediate families and the bigger families. So that actually influenced my childhood of bringing life from Nigeria then to Europe.
How close were you with your parents? How close were you to your dad, your mom? Was there any kind of domestic, anything you want to divulge to us as to what specifically, was it the values instilled to you by your mother or your father, or was it a work of birth? Or did you have a happy upbringing, a happy home? Was it always sugar?
Absolutely, yes. Well, I must never ever forget to say this to the entire world, that my upbringing was actually influenced by my parents. The virtues and values they actually give to me, it's all from God.
Of course. Yeah.
They were all deacons and deaconess in the church, and they did that to a greater extent. They really advance in the knowledge of Word of God, and that's the virtue they gave to me. The righteousness I'm talking about, and holiness, obedience to rules and laws. So I took it up from there, and there was no domestic challenge or confusion at all.
Yeah, you just made the right point, because I wanted to, because the thing about Africa is that in Africa, in Nigeria specifically, in so many of our cultures, we believe that training a child is the job of a community. Just mention the church leaders, the extended families, how they helped you, and all of that.
Mm-hmm. I've been meaning to ask, like, we want to know what are the personal values, the perspectives, the philosophies that have guided you to this extent, to the man we see today, the Victor Akpan everybody knows all over the world. What are the personal values, the philosophies that you came from right from a young age that have shaped the man you are today?
I've actually been focusing, in fact, from my childhood, I've been predominantly more focused in my approach to life. And the values, like I've already explained before, it's all about religion. not necessarily religion, my faith in God. So I try to do things rightly, to be more righteous in approach to life, respecting laws, keeping to standards, safety guidelines in all that I do. I follow that passionately.
Okay. Yes. Have you ever failed? Was there a time you failed at trying to do something, maybe a task, maybe a vision that you had, an innovation, or you're just trying and you failed? Was there ever a time like that?
You mean failure?
Yes.
Yes, of course. It's human.
Yeah.
And if I say this, that my work in the Institute of Quality Assurance of Nigeria, IQAN, actually centers on building quality culture. So, if I meet challenges along the line, it's all about failure, but I have to put up my faith in God, asking God to help me to regain and retrace my steps and do what is right. I totally believe that there's no, in using quality, the best practice. I tell you there should never be failure.
Okay, so you basically just answered my next question. I wanted to ask you, what has failure taught you? What specific, maybe 3 or 4 lessons that you've learned from failing?
Yes, from my experience and the knowledge that I gain in quality practice, I come to know that failure is actually not failure. Failure is a stage that you learn new things, something you never remember or know. That automatically becomes failure when you fail to do what you should have done.
So it's okay to fail at times?
Absolutely, yes.
Interesting, interesting. Well, also I wanted to ask you, what were your hobbies? What were your childhood hobbies? What did you like to do when you were a child that made you happy at times?
Well, I like reading. I also like aspect of maybe meetings, because I like
Prof, let me ask you, how many meetings, were you going to meetings as a child? I mean, you were just growing up.
Absolutely.
Oh God.
Absolutely. Children meet, children talk, they discuss.
Wow. That's uncommon in Nigeria.
Yeah.
In the Nigerian culture, I know a lot of families, for example, while growing up, if we had guests at home and then you sat around, my parents would normally scold me. I have seen it, and it's a thing about our culture in Nigeria. You know, you don't interrupt when there are guests, you don't say, and you don't sit around. They just ask you to leave. I know, but if a child if maybe we had given our children more opportunities to listen to conversations from elders, I know there are families. It's not like it's everywhere. I can't generalize it. There are families too who had different values, who allowed their children to talk, to express themselves, and to participate in conversations, irrespective of whether it is elderly or not. So, but I'm just trying to say that it's very common in our culture that when you're having meetings or you're having conversations, especially the elderly ones, they wouldn't want the children to be around and all of that. I don't know if that is right or if it is wrong. I'm yet to know whether it is right or wrong. But in your case, you said that having meetings or being in a meeting was part of your hobby. And basically a hobby is something that you love to do, something that you find exciting. So you have always been this prof, even when you had not attained the status of a prof. How interesting. Is that something you want to ask?
No, it's just kind of intriguing to know that even at a young age, he's already has something like a hobby, which is meetings, meetings, which normally is not something that is unique to children. You know, it's something, it's an elderly something, adults coming together and having a serious meeting. But he has already been having such a meetings from an early age. That's intriguing.
But tell us the truth, Prof. Was there a time you kicked the ball? Was there a time you were sent for an errand and you looked, you found joy doing something else instead? I mean, those kind of experience. Are you saying you did not have one at all?
Well, when it comes to soccer, yes, in Africa, children, even adults, play in the a bare ground, any open space. Sometimes not even the real football.
Yeah.
You could wrap something,
Yes.
a paper or whatever, and then you start doing that. Yes, we do kick.
So you
yes.
love football then?
Yes,
Do you still watch football till now?
well, I must say this, I had a very bad experience that took me out of the soccer sector. You know, I was a good footballer in the primary school level, at that level, even secondary school. But I got involved in a soccer crash. And there was an accident, so I had to stay in the hospital for about 3 months. So the pains that I actually suffered.
I will have asked you, Messi or Ronaldo, your best of all time.
I try because this thing takes away so much, it's something of anxiety. So I did not want to allow that to affect me. So as it stands today, I stand for nobody.
Okay. All right. So tell us about your journey. Tell us about how you became. I know my co-hosts have asked that question, but I wanted to know what specifically inspired you to start the excellence job you're doing now. I mean, at IQAN, what did you look at? Because I'm trying to bring this now to the point of the topic of our conversation, the problem with the Nigerian mindset. I mean, if there is one at all. So in your responses, you will be picking bit by bit. So tell us what inspired you to start the job of quality, to start wanting things to be done better in institutions and individuals.
That's a very interesting question, but I would rather go into it in a more constructive perspective. Yes. The focus was more or less the habit, behaviors. You see, sometimes ago, a long time now, in 1999, I think so, Nigeria hosted the FIFA that's the World Cup tournament for the junior.
Under 17, was it?
I can't really know, but I just classified Junior World Cup. So, and my experience earlier on, I noticed on a particular Saturday, a young man, fully dressed in Nigerian, Nigerians are African. We have beautiful attires.
That's right.
And this was in a very white cloth. And he rode on a bike. At the back of the bicycle, I think the popular name is Okada, something like that. And he literally drove these passengers into a gutter. And I was shocked. If this happened this way, so the foreign people who are non-Nigerians, foreigners that are coming to the Junior World Cup Nigeria was hosting, will have a bad experience. And it will be it will affect Nigeria in terms of a presentation,
So just
quality-wise.
Just from that
Yes.
single, probably not even so obvious experience, encounter, your perspective changed immediately.
In addition to that, yes, my perspective changed. Like I said, in addition to that, before leaving Nigeria as a young man, I knew there was some values. The value system in Nigeria was quite good. This is back in the early 1980s, the 80s. So, but on the return, I noticed that values were really going down, and particular mention about people telling lies. That's one of the things that drove me into the practice. So one of the things that we are losing faith in Nigeria is lies, the deception. People don't want
Too much.
Yes, it's broadly. In fact, I must say this happens from individuals, the institutions, the government, and the rest other sectors. So that is something that I didn't really want to accept.
So it's everywhere.
Absolutely.
It's everywhere.
It's everywhere.
So you mentioned two interesting things as let's say that those were the primary things that set you out to correct, that you wanted to correct in the system, the lies and how will I qualify the other one, Okada person dropping his passenger at a dirty place, and you thought, what about, why not you just drive a little more, maybe find a more comfortable place to drop this person? Why not engage in the activity in your job, in the business you're doing? Why not do it better? Why not serve other people better? So tell us, have you achieved, based on all of this individual, I think you are still hammering on individual behaviors and all of that. We're still going to the institutional part. So tell us, based on what you have done, based on your successes so far, do you think Nigeria is better off than when you started?
The message has been sent across, to some greater extent in certain sectors. They're imbibing quality, and it's helping. But it's though we're making inroads, but it's the journey is still far away.
Okay, let me ask this one in Nigerian parlance, because it be like say as they talk quality, they talk excellence. Maybe people if you don't understand, like waiting be quality. What is quality? Is it food? Is it something? How important is it to Nigeria? What is quality in a way that the common man, the layman, can understand?
Quality is about doing right things. You do something right even when you are not being watched. And I also want to add this. Two very important key words or statements. Number one, we in the Institute of Quality Assurance of Nigeria says quality is your right. Demand for it. Two, the second one is quality makes our lives safer and prosperous. So this is the reason why we passionately and intentionally pursuing quality.
So, Prof, if I may add, like, it's already obvious. You said your definition of quality is what you do when no one sees you, like what you can
Doing
do.
rightly.
Okay. So, growing up, is there, like, we the youths now, we are looking up to probably a mentor or somebody to teach us, to guide us in our way. Do you actually have someone that you are looking up to, or you are actually the person that paved your way, the niche you are into now today?
I learn.
You learn.
I said earlier, one of the hobbies was that I read, I learn.
Okay. From books.
All over. People's behaviors,
Okay.
things around you, where you visit, places and people, you learn.
But can you pinpoint any individual or any article, any book, any person whose life was exemplary for you at the time while you were still building up, and who you looked at and say, this is an ideal behavior, this is an ideal character that you would want for Nigerians?
Maybe not more specific, like an individual or something like that, but let me take a Nigerian example. We had some times ago, yes, you're talking about youth, and as I was young as I was then, it was a military government. Yes, the late General Buhari and General Idi Akpan. Yes, that administration, military administration, actually brought in what is called discipline, accountability. These are focal points. These are the pillars of quality practice.
Discipline and accountability.
Accountability, responsibility. This really applied. Everything in Nigeria went smooth. To the fact that Nigerian naira, the currency Nigeria is using, had value over all other currencies. Because I remember somewhere around 1982, 83, Nigerian 90 kobo was equivalent of £1.
90 kobo.
Yes.
Not even up to 1 naira.
1 naira.
That's correct.
And £1 is about how much now? I think it's a 2,000 something. I'm not correct. I'm not sure, but I know it's very, very high now in terms of the equivalence and all that.
It's very depressing.
Oh my God. I even had I don't know, maybe I'm calling it fables because for me to imagine that those kinds of things they happened that were true, that there was a time you could, in Nigeria, you could buy a car with less than 13 naira. With
Absolutely.
less than 13 naira, build a house, you still get change.
You're right.
Oh my God. Well, those values you mentioned, I don't think I'm seeing it anymore. Discipline, responsibility, accountability. I don't think I'm seeing it anywhere. Why is that? So answer the question. Is there a problem with the Nigerian mindset?
Yes, there is. I would like to put it this way. Constructively, I would like to say it's not necessarily a problem, but I think it's a challenge because of people's behaviors. You know, mindset is actually beliefs, behaviors, habits, and all those things, yes, put together that you do that is acceptable. And what is acceptable? Acceptability of behavior or character of a person is that measured with a standard which is set either from the standpoint of religion or government.
Yes.
Today, Nigeria has a National Orientation Agency that talks about citizens' charter and how people should behave, things like that. So people going outside such standards is actually not quality and is actually getting into a different mindset, especially that which may not encourage good behavior.
You know, say, to talk, they say in Nigeria that to talk is cheap.
Yeah.
This is me saying that there have been a lot of talks, a lot of Nigeria has probably been is the country that has the most let me say, seminars in the world. We have a lot of seminars. We've had a lot of meetings, a lot of workshops. People like you who are trying to make things right. And then it seems as if that these bad values are pushing back. I don't know what extra needs to be done. I think you are the experts. I don't know what extra needs to be done because sincerely, I want to see a Nigeria that works. I want to see that when you're driving on the road, drivers are driving orderly, not cursing each other, not looking for opportunities to overtake, to just do things as if we are, I don't know. So the thing is that I want to ask you, if you could change one thing about Nigeria today, just one thing, what would that thing be?
It will be the people's behavior. If you fix the behavior, you fix the economy.
So the behavior is the problem?
Behavior is the problem. Bad behaviors means that people are not doing rightly. I want to say that if we could change Nigerians' bad behaviors, we will be able to develop, because this really measure up in terms of the contribution, aggregate good behaviors helps us to achieve, to move faster in terms of national development.
That's true. That's true. I agree. Yes, sir.
So, Prof, if you were to be asked, if you were to profile solutions to the behavior, as you said, what are some practical steps, some solutions you would profile as a person to the behavioral change of Nigerian youths or the mentality of Nigerians?
Doing right things, obedience or obeying laws.
What is the right thing?
Discipline. Don't, you see, let me also say that the attitude of Nigerians, most Nigerians, which makes it look as bad mindset. They think government should fix everything or do everything.
Okay, that's practical.
Yes. That's not supposed to be so. I walked past a side bridge in, is that not my Tama, where you have National Population Commission.
Okay.
I noticed that the rails were totally broken and not even standing. And when I stopped and I asked somebody why. This is very dangerous. People could fall into the river.
Yes.
And somebody told me that a passersby said to me that people make money from that thing.
From the iron.
Yes. So this is individual destroying public properties. And government is not there. Maybe even if the police is there, they may be hiding and doing it. So if somebody who is going to do a right thing, goes past there, stop that person.
That is stealing.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And the person who stole that, from my experience, from what I've heard people say, public express that after all, it's now government property. No be anybody get them. No be papa get them.
That's very true.
And so if you are a standby, if you are washing, you just wash. You just look at it and go away instead of making troubles with the person because it's not your property.
One of the biggest things I've actually noticed about most Nigerians is their I don't care attitude. They think governments have to do everything for them, everything. Nation building is actually a collective responsibility. The government will do their bit. You as a citizen, you also have a responsibility to your country. You are not just going to be benefiting, expecting government to do everything for you. What are your contributions to your country? So these are some of the things we need to iron out about Nigeria and all that. But
okay, go ahead.
Okay. If I also want to add, what exactly is the problem of the Nigerian youths of today? Are the Nigerian youths of today and the Nigerian youths of during your time, are their mindset, are they the same, or there's a contrast between the two?
Yes, significant contrast. I have already said I was trying to say the pillars in terms of when he was asking what's really the problem, the mindsets. One, people should not be thinking that government alone will do everything.
Exactly.
The second point is that Nigerians, and like you said, youth, are totally dependent on short-term behaviors. You see, needs are in everywhere, but you must not go for what you do not really require. Every Nigerian youth wants it to happen immediately. They want to get it right. They want to have it immediately. The urge to get it now. And if we, like I talked about religion, faith in God, you come to see that one of the principles of religion or Christianity, I'm a Christian by religion, and you hear what the scripture says, that we must be contented. So Nigerian youths are falling short in these faith principles. Faith in God. God is able to provide at all times, but they want to do more than God. They think Nigerian youth. So that incidentally changed the mindset, puts the mindset in thinking, because it's also to do with the thinking.
Yes.
So, yes. So that's the way most Nigerian youths are thinking. They feel the government should do things. They feel they should get it right away. And they think that they have the power, the skills, the energy. Yes, it's true. A young person has that strength. But don't forget, God controls everything. But if they depend, if they are disciplined, like I said, they will now take responsibility, and they can, really speaking, be able to do right things.
Yeah, regarding religion, because you've been hammering on religion and God and all that, when you come down to our level, the average Nigerian youth, do you think a lot of them still actually believe in religion, believe in God? Because we see a lot of things online, people going to the rivers, people going to the occult, a lot of things happening now.
Even that is also religion. In fact, Nigeria is the most religious country on this earth. We have too many churches, we have too many mosques, and it seems that the religious institutions have derailed from their job of instituting those discipline, those moral values that Prof keeps talking about. Yeah. So what is the problem? I know that a lot of Nigerian youths now they are no longer interested in going to church, going to mosques, and all of that. This is not to say that there is a huge number of youth population in both the mosques and the church, but we also see a mass exodus of people who abandon faith, who want to maybe go back to tradition, even though that's also a form of religion, but also some other ones who just all of a sudden they say there's no God anymore. But this is not a conversation about religion. It's a conversation about what religious institutions, what roles they have played, and how they have also contributed to the youth abandoning religion. Because at the time you were growing up, at least I saw a little while I was a child. I know I'm not at your generation at all, but I saw a little of it while I was a child growing up. There was a lot of holiness, a lot of values. I know that there was still evil, but you can't just commit evil like that. You can't just do something like that without your mind judging you and things like that. Yeah, even the dress code and everything was just simple and godly and all of that. So the religious institutions not be then cause waiting they happen now, because for the youth to go out of the church and the mosque, then you have them going into vices, you have them accepting any other principle that the world tells them that is acceptable.
Yes, I want to also add to that point. The reason why that is happening is because the quality principles talks about people. The focus is people, maybe customer. And quality allows a customer or people wider choices. So the question of choice is also a problem. It causes a problem to our behaviors. People choose to behave weirdly, people choose to behave in the normal way, but you can't do much because they're also being protected by laws. Certain laws that you can't do this, you can't do that. In the past, both parents, guardians, neighbors, relatives would discipline a child. But this day, the law does not allow that to some extent.
You mean like not just natural law?
There are some countries don't allow capital punishment. You do a whip on a child. Because sometimes the punitive actions can also bring down.
Are you saying that punishing a child with capital punishment is good for a child?
Well, it depends on the individuals, because some can be heavy-handed, and they can, to some extent, some people are horrible. So I've seen in the I've seen on the Facebooks where people display or showcase how some parents or the mates are being manhandled, and then that the law does not allow. So, but the reason why I bring in the question of choice is because people have freedom to behave the way but like I said, the churches, the mosque has a fundamental duty, responsibility to inculcate moral values. Even the scripture says it, train a child the way is good. When it grows up, it will not depart from that.
And it also says, the scripture also says, you spare the rod and spoil the child.
Yes. Well, I don't want to go into that because in the spiritual aspect of it, there will be some interpretations that will give you the face of sparing the rod. Okay. But I don't want to go into that. I want to focus on the church. In fact, family and church, mosque, they have a primary duty to give the good values and virtues to their youngs, to their world, so that as they grow up, they will, in the life of discipline, responsibility and accountability, and of course integrity. These are the things that you use in building the national development.
That's true. But in our conversation, we seem to have sidelined the government. We seem to have not admitted that the government also has a role. Because where we are talking about the youth, believing, the youth of today, to be specific, believing that the government should do everything for them. But won't you also argue that government has not been forthcoming, that government has not been what it should be in Africa, in Nigeria particularly? Have we had the best of government? Because how many years do we have to spend as a third world country? In fact, if there's anything fourth world, some people will argue that we are fourth world at the moment. For some times, not just because of now, but sometimes.
Government failed, not because government intentionally wants to fail. No. The reason of government failure is the moral decadence. Who is the government? Government is the individuals from different homes, families, from communities, found themselves in government. So government does not need to exist unilaterally.
In vacuum, yeah.
Yes.
Sorry to cut you short. So regarding the moral decline you're talking about, which factors do you think primarily contributes to that moral decline, aside the choices you mentioned earlier? Like, is there other factors, like external factors, like the Western influence? Is there any other, what other factors do you think contributes mostly to the moral decline in Nigeria?
Number one, the factor of family failure to give good upbringing.
Charity begins at home.
Exactly, charity begins from home. And the church, the mosque. Let me tell you, recently I had an engagement with the Christian Association of Nigeria, and in my address, or rather my remarks at that event, and I mentioned to them, both the mosque and the church has the primary responsibility to curb this upsurge of embezzlement, financial mismanagement, and all manner of evil and corruptions in the government. How? They have the power. Every application for employment, somebody feels, they will ask, what religion? Nigerian Constitution recognizes two faith for the moment. That is Christianity and Islamic, the Muslims. You, the church, you send that person to work. And the person is stealing, is reported in the pages of newspaper and television, is all over. And you cannot reprimand.
We even see some churches supporting different, behaviors, bad behaviors in government because maybe they are looking for money, tithe and all of that. I know that these things are, tithing is good, based on the people who believe it and all of that. But we have also seen how the messaging or the message in religion have derailed. Like most people now, you notice that they no longer preach about the quality of holiness, the quality of good value as exemplified by Jesus Christ for Christian and Muhammad for Muslims. So we see them, giving more attention to how they can make money, how you can drive a jeep in 24 hours, how you get miracle alert, how you can conceive a baby in less than this and that, and all of this.
That's basically the prosperity gospel.
The prosperity gospel, yes. So I think this is where the problem starts, and then because of this, a lot of people are pressurized because they also have to show up in their churches, they also have to show up in their communities. We have also seen this affect the community too, from the church to the community. The values that we place on hard work, the values that we place on excellence, on discipline, on things that when somebody nowadays when you try to defend hard work, people think that you're stupid. People just look at you. What is it talking about? Now we follow who has the money. We follow who has
regardless
the money.
of how
regardless
you got
of
the
how
money.
you made it. And this is the crux of our problem. This is because these same individuals who want to please, who have passed through the church or the wrong church, or who have passed through the wrong parental guidance or no parental guidance at all, and then they come out and they become government personnel, government, they occupy governance positions and they mess up. And when they mess up, it affects everybody. And this has continued. So I wanted to ask you, what is that one thing? What is that one thing that can be done to, I don't know, I know it's not something that we can achieve over time. Like you said, you have put a lot of years of work in this and you have recorded some successes, but what is that one thing that can be that you want to tell our viewers that they should do for things to get better, at least from individuals then to government?
Well, the government will come to that if we still have time, but I want to address this section, the point about youth from your co-host. You see, is the problem with the Nigerian mindset. Yeah. It's all about thinking government will only do it. Secondly, the short term, thinking of what they benefit, what they get right now. That's why you see the youths do not really think that they could start a business and build it up to last the next 200-300 years. Mm-hmm. They could not, some of them, their parents suffered, sacrificed, developed and built a business to a certain point. They come in, they take over, and they collapse it. And if you look at it, you find out that the youth is actually a problem to themselves. Mm. They have the capacity, they have said it. They have the knowledge, they have the skills, the young, the flow, the vibrancy. But why are you thinking of short term? Two, short terms also leads them to shortcuts. Mm. Shortcuts is corruption. Don't bribe for something that you will ordinarily get it which you are due to it. Mm-hmm. And I want to tell you that the mindset is the greatest asset that this nation has. Mm. The mindset is the person, is whom will drive the economy or activities and the process of work or business or doing anything at all. That mindset, if you channeled it, doing it rightly according to standards that is set, you find out that corruption will die. Focusing on government alone will not be the issue. In fact, hard work is not necessarily, let me say this, quality gurus say that with quality assurance, you are not supposed to pay a dime on top of any item, product or service for the price that it is worth. You're not supposed to pay. So there's no reason you tell me about hard work. I laughed at my people here. I know my people, the way they operate. People work overtime. Why do you work overtime? A job designed for 8 hours is supposed to be done 8 hours and complete. Exactly. But because I told you about people telling lies, going to work late, you shortchanging. The time you're supposed to finish the 8-hour work is already shortchanged.
I think I got something from that. You know, like my mentor always says, Dr. Christos Etoka, he says, the mind makes the man. The mind in turn is the man.
Absolutely correct.
So do you, that means generally what we need is a mindset, is a mind reset, like a mind reengineering of our youths. Yes. We start them young, you know, from, let's say from our secondary schools, we start going there and sensitizing the youths from there, you know. When they pick it up from there, it will be easier for them to now go into things that will be productive to the nation instead of just letting them move by chance, and when they now get up there, they'll just go and do what they like.
I take it from age 2, if not age 1.
Age 2, is it
age
that
2,
too early?
Yes. I've written a book, and I've also done a project, a national project on the mindset. And to do that, I have declared what we need to do, called the Nigerian, the Made in Nigerian Child. And in that research and the project itself, I take it from age 2 to age 19. And such a person that goes through a thorough 17 years of quality training will not tell lies. Yes. It will not be corrupt. It will not give bribe. And it will be really patriotic.
That's catch them young.
So when we, that's the same thing that just
Catch them young, very
the same
young,
thing
at the
just-
tender age.
I wanted to say now. That
But-
is where we can apply the principle or the concept of catch them young. Because what you said is very correct, sir. As if we're able to catch them at that age of that age when they know virtually their thinking capacity can be bent, their perceptives, the values, the things that they see others doing, that age when it can be bent, when they are learning, when they are watching the adults do what they do. If we give them, if we lead exemplary life and then show them the right things and then tell them the truth, to always maintain truth, to always, admire hard work, discipline and these things that will actually get the job done. I think that is, you just answered the question that I asked you earlier. We have to just do that. So let me ask you, sir, are you ever afraid of something? Is there anything you're scared of?
Well, as a human being, something can scare me. But I am more scared of bad behaviors.
You are allergic to bad behavior.
Yes, yes,
Bad behavior.
yes.
Okay.
Because you may end up suffering another person's foolishness due to bad behaviors. You could end up in jail. You could end up in the grave. You could lose many things because of bad behaviors.
How would you want people to remember you, Prof? As a legacy, after all you have done, after living and then the hard work you have put in, what exactly do you want history to tell about you?
Well, I don't want any other history or story than people should imbibe quality cultures. Because quality culture sets the mindset. I'm actually passionate about community, not myself alone. Let community developments. If we get community development at the back and the front of our minds, every youth starting, because if the government is doing right things and the youth watch and they innovate, they can do a proper, thorough national development. I am telling you that no third world, no second world, no first world will go ahead of Nigeria. Nigeria has got the whole lot of wealth the whole world would be thinking of, but yet Nigeria is not developed world.
Una don't hear them. Una don't see where the problem of Nigeria lies. This is the practical solutions that we're talking about. Of course, we know the temporal things about government should provide electricity, government should build infrastructures, government should provide should budget more for health and education, those kinds of things. Yeah, they are temporal. They are also things that can add to future development and all that. But now, for us to ultimately, because you are crying that the person you elected into the office is stealing the common resources. You are crying that he wasn't a billionaire when he entered there, but as soon as he got there, he became a billionaire. Wealth without hard work. So the problem and the solution is something that we have laid down today. And Prof has just told us that for us to overcome bad governance rather, in Nigeria, in Africa, that we need to start training our children. We need to start training them in those good values that our great-grandparents left for us. We need to start telling them about quality culture, about excellence, about doing the right thing, because there's nothing difficult. I mean, doing the right thing is a win-win situation for everybody. If you do the right thing, you will have clear conscience. If you did the right thing, you will have saved somebody somewhere. You don't know who your bad decision could affect. So I think this conversation has really, really, really been impactful. So, Prof, is there any last word you want to say? Is there any last thing you want to tell the audience about maybe what you're doing currently that the people need to know, or maybe just a last word of encouragement or anything of that nature?
Yes, I particularly mentioned that Nigeria government and Nigeria generally should insist. You see, government policies are mainly, especially government economic policies, they are purely for development. But very poor maintenance culture in Nigeria cuts across from individuals to families, to institutions and the government. With government policies on education and healthcare, so many have been rolled out, but no one, every successive government will never look at what was. You need to look at the nitty-gritty of that policy. If it's not good, amend it, don't drop it. So many things had gone wrong because so many good policies have been rolled out all along. But today, even the new ones, some of them are good, some of them are not. But because maintenance culture is totally is not in practice in Nigeria, so government must pay attention to that.
The maintenance culture.
Yes, that is where we think that certain good policies and administration could thrive, continue to go through, and then the process will pass through our young. The youth will pick it up and then innovate. Not necessarily that you come into power because you didn't like this person or that person or the other, the person that immediate past government, you trashed all the policies. No, it's not good. So that is one. Two, I also want to say that it is time every Nigerian, every citizen, all that stay in Nigeria and work here and do business, live, study, work, and whatever you are doing, everybody must demand for quality.
So Nigerians, as you demand that when you go to the petrol station, fuel station, that the attendant should attend to you because it's your right that you have the money to come and buy. As you demand that when somebody steps on your toe, they should apologize. As you demand that government should do the right thing, also demand for quality. It is your right, according to Professor Victor Akpan. He says it is the right of every Nigerian to demand for quality and excellence. And while you're demanding for it, remember to also give it. So, Prof, you wanted to tell us about the project you have about institutions and government being signatory that you think is the eyes to the final eyes.
Yes, there is a program. It's a national project. The Institute of Quality Assurance of Nigeria is putting up this project to launch a vision of quality for Nigeria, where Nigeria becomes a signatory to quality across the world. Because Nigerians must be respected. Nigerians must be respected. Our goods and services must be acceptable. And Nigerians would offer this in quality behavior, and then people will buy. And I said it earlier on that quality makes your life safer and prosperous. If we do the right thing, produce the right thing, it will be demanded across the world. So Nigerians will prosper. We're talking about productivity. We must be productive, not necessarily consuming. We buy from. So when we do that, we must learn to do it rightly and offer rightly. That's because if you don't have the good behavior, you cannot offer in the good. So that's equally the right. So you must demand for equality is a right. Demand for it, and the behavior in which you are being offered has to be right.
Thank you for staying true with us this conversation. We hope today's discussion didn't just answer questions, but inspired new ones. Real change begins when conversation move beyond our screens, beyond our homes, workplace, classrooms, and communities. If this episode challenged you, encouraged you, or gave you something worth thinking about, don't keep it to yourself. Like this video, share it with someone, and join the conversation in the comments. We would genuinely love to hear your perspectives. Don't forget to subscribe to Unboxed Voices podcast and follow us across our social media platforms so you never miss another meaningful conversation. Thank you. Until next time, keep listening, asking questions, keep learning, and never stop believing that a better you is possible and a better Nigeria is possible. God bless you, and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.